Justin Rhodes here. Congratulations, Mary Homestead, on winning. I'm here with the famous Mr. Brown, and he has absolutely no shoes on.
Welcome back to the Backyard Homesteader. Today we are done with the tour at the Justin Rhodes Farm, but now we're going to go into the old barn. We're going to eat some chili together. We have a Q&A session and just have a ton of fun. So don't go away. And remember, we have another video with my sis and I, Jennifer from Summer Jen Farmstead. We actually, the very next day, went and, just took a look around North Carolina. I fell in love with North Carolina, and wait till you see what we actually got into. All right, enough of that. Come on, let's go check it out.
Today is the day that got us in motion cleaning up our farm. It's here. Look at this. Many people enjoying the fruits of our labor. Everybody like the chili? Oh boy, it's almost gone.
Pretty much gone. Chili.
Which one's that?
That's pork.
Just called for vlog volunteers.
Hi there.
And it came down to you guys. What's your name and what you're growing?
I'm Austin, and this is Heather.
I'm Heather. We're growing babies and
Ducks, geese, turkeys, and chickens.
Okay. Anybody want to be in the vlog? So how
What
far
you
did you
wanna
drive
know?
this morning?
14 minutes.
You must have gotten an Airbnb.
We did.
So what do you like about events like this?
What I love is this is really.
Besides the apple pie.
Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. It's just this community of people that understand how this fills your heart up. It becomes who you are. I don't have a homestead, but I have my homestead's in my backyard.
Yeah.
But I still homestead, and you're the one who told me 2 years ago at Homesteaders of America, whenever you said, "Are you a homesteader?" and I said, "I'm a wannabe," and he goes, "Do you grow food?" "Yes." "You're a homesteader." I started a channel, and we just hit 1,000 last week.
It's what's in your heart.
Oh, yes.
Because you could be in the city in the apartment and just go get a whole chicken and cook it. Okay? When we butchered our first chicken, we had never cooked a whole chicken.
Oh, yeah. Well,
We'd always bought boneless, skinless breasts or whatever. What little things are y'all doing right now?
Well, you got us to get chickens. You just basically zoomed in close and said, I can't remember how you said it. You're like, just do it. Just go buy some chickens.
I was like, all right, ready? Let's go.
Yeah, we did it, and we lived in the village of Romeo, and we practiced civil disobedience. And it turns out our neighbors loved it.
Yeah. I mean, who cares? Sometimes you got to do the right thing, even if it's wrong. We open up chicken butchering to members of Abundance Plus. Anybody can apply to come. Also, this year we filmed a TV show called Elevated, and we filmed all 4 episodes helping the premise is we go and help 4 local farms. We basically implement permaculture design, help them, give them a boost, give them an elevation, and we take volunteers from Abundance Plus. So, it's that, how does Abundance Plus stand out from Netflix? I mean, how are we going to compete? Well, we're going to compete through community. Okay, it's going to be a nichified community where you can actually get in and interact with the content, not just by commenting, but actually participate. I saw that first in the film, the movie, the documentary, whatever it is, TV show, The Chosen. Like if you back or support this movie, The Chosen, at a certain level, you can come and be in the cast. So we've extended it to members to come and volunteer, and you can come and see what we would do to another homestead. So you learn from that, and you get to be a part of building that. We had a small group of volunteers this year, and we'll be looking for another group of volunteers next year. So I think the show's going to be a hit. We're definitely going to want to do it again next year. Anything else? The beautiful one's here too, Rich. She's ready. You guys have been hearing my talking head all morning.
I was thinking, I got out of this.
Any health-related questions? This is the one.
You get for thinking, right? Well, this is one for kind of both of you. How do you guys balance your time between now you have the business and the farm and the kids?
Yeah, how do we balance our time? the quick answer is to that will set you at ease is we don't. There's no quick balance to it. But you did get me started on the productivity question, which I really love to talk about. So one way that we balance things is we compartmentalize things. So you only have so much time in the day. Many of you go off to work and work a 9 to 5 type of situation. And hopefully you're being the most productive you can be at work, earning the most you can for the amount of effort. And then you might have an hour a day after work and a full day on the weekend. You have to make sure you're doing the best stuff, the most effective stuff. So how do we balance all? First, we have from this amount of time to this amount of time to do chores. Okay, so whatever it is. For us, it's the morning, for lunch. And we better be, once we get done with the chores, then we have X amount. Sometimes it takes us the whole time because we have problems. But if we get done with chores, we have X amount of time to do a project. So it better be the most important project we could be doing. There's 100 things we would like to be doing, but we've got to identify. So you have this list of everything you want to do. You got to look at that list and then prioritize it. So if you only have 10 hours a week, I ought to write a book called The 10-Hour Homestead, because you can do it. If you only have 10 hours a week, 1 hour a day, half a day on the weekend, you better be growing meat chickens, layer chickens, and a garden. And you're going to get, in the growing season, 80% of your food. So you're going to get the most bang for your buck. So compartmentalize. So then you're the most, you've done your morning chores, now you're the most effective at work. You have the best job, you have the best position there. And then in the evening, you do the most productive things as a family. But one thing is multi-stacking functions and stuff like that is we're not just out there milking a cow. I'm out there on a date with Lily, and we have to be milking a cow. See? So we have two things at once. I do see a lot of people getting really busy, even in the homeschool space. I mean, why did you pull your kids out of school and go to homeschool if you're just going to keep them just as busy or busier? So it's okay. You've opted out of growing food, or you've opted out of the food grid. A lot of people, we're talking about, I love the power grid. It's cool to get off the grid, right? But I've gotten off the food grid. One, because that was our most expensive bill. So if you question the food grid, don't be afraid to now question the medical grid, the school grid, the political grid, the religious grid. Dare, because what's the worst going to happen when you begin to question things? You're going to find the real truth and be more happier and productive, or you're going to affirm what you have already experienced. So that's like with us on the Great American Farm Tour. We grew up on this farm, and we had to figure out if it was going to be our own. Just like if you were growing up in a religion, at some point you have to figure out if that's your own. So you have to start asking questions. And we asked questions about this land, and then we traveled and figured out this is where we want to be. So then it's implanted deeper and better in your heart. So I don't know how I got from how do we balance things to that, but the short answer is compartmentalizing, prioritizing, and at the end of the day, you can add anything you want to this. You just have to somehow find peace in not getting it all done. Because if you chances are, if you have a list of 10 things and you do the 2 most powerful bang for your buck, and that's all you get done, it's called the 80-20 rule. If you do the 2 things, chances are you've gotten 80% of your results.
One thing
Yeah, and those 2 things in homesteading are meat chickens and gardens. So if you can only do 2 things, do those things. If you can do 3, do layer chickens, because it's an easy crossover. Like a meat chicken, my God, guys, you can grow, if you get 100 chickens and they all make it, you're going to have 400 pounds of meat in your freezer in just 2 months. That's ludicrous feed. A steer would take you 2 years to get to that. It would take 2 pigs 10 months to get to that. And everybody likes chicken. So anyway.
I would say also, like just having low expectations too, like not expecting to be like have everything in the beginning and then like just not like Justin and I didn't have for so long, you know, all of this, like the pole barn and all of those things. So I think just like having low expectations about like what you can actually get done. Like you guys too, and you have 2 very young children, you know, you have to be like, okay, maybe this is my season to support other farms so that I can like really put into my children while they're, and myself, because you're gonna be really tired with having a 1-year-old and a newborn.
I asked them on camera, what are they growing? And they said chidlers.
That's what it is. I mean, at this point, like, you know, you're growing, like, you know, so many times I felt bad because, like, I don't go out on the farm like I used to. But then I'm like, no, Henry is my first priority. And, like, letting him get the sleep he needs. And he likes to lay in bed in the mornings. Like, he has already gotten the art of resting down. Because he wakes up and then he wants to snuggle for 40 minutes. Every morning.
And nobody else was like that. Everybody else
None of my other children did that. So it's been very interesting that like, I'm like ready to get up and get going. And what I've been doing is I get up earlier and try to get some things done. And then he'll wake up, which is so adorable. Now he wakes up and he'll like call for me if I'm not in the room. And then if I am in the room, he sat up the other morning and he was like, morning. Oh, that's so sweet. But he's the priority right now. You know, not me getting out early and like getting stuff done on the farm. It's making sure that his love tank is filled and, you know,
there was
that sort of thing.
There was a vlog, Mr. Brown was being fussy and I just like, all right, let's get your love tank filled. And I sat down and we just held it.
Yeah, until he could like independently play, because eventually they do independently play, but sometimes they just need that like extra attention, and so I think that's important, like just to like take the pressure off of yourselves right now. You guys have got to prioritize your health and your children.
And you got little kids, so it's meat chickens, and you know meat chickens aren't going to run over anybody.
Right.
And a garden, and you're going to plant or get 25% more meat chickens than you need. 25% more garden than you need. And if the kid steps on the plant,
We have leftovers from last year.
there you go. And then you have leftovers. You could give it away or whatever.
Yeah.
There's enough parents here who maybe kids have grown. I'm at the stage now, we're blessed because we have a 15-year-old, and so now we see how fast that goes during driving. You've heard people tell you it goes by fast. But we also have a 2-year-old that now we can more deeply appreciate because you know how quickly it goes. We're actually looking at next year and maybe not going and speaking at events. So there are other things even outside of homesteading that you could cut back and may need to cut back. That's what I'm saying. Like all this extracurricular activity, instead of putting the girl in ballerina lessons and the guy in soccer and Boy Scouts and all these things are good, but then everybody's going all these different ways. Why don't you once a week? We started our own soccer league here at the hall. It's like once a week, adults, I don't care, adults and kids can come and we play soccer.
Nice.
Okay? So why can't you do that? You know, you can do that together. Do certain things like that together.
I would also say something that, so what I do in my house is I have like a schedule of like what needs to be done on what day. So like Mondays, I wash the boys' sheets, and then like Tuesday is like I wash Lily's sheets. So like you could do that for the farm too. So like obviously you're not going to be, you know, it'd be like on this day I do this, on this day I do that. So it's kind of like just setting a schedule so you know what to do when type thing. Because I think that's it too. Like if you don't have a plan, then you can get so overwhelmed because you're like, oh my gosh, I have all these things to do.
Yeah.
But if you have it written down and you're like, okay, I have a plan for this. It doesn't have to be like next year. Justin and I are talking about like really planning the garden. Like we plan the garden, but very loosely. But we're talking like really planning it and like filling every square inch that we can and like just being super productive with it. And seeing how much food we can grow basically and eat just not use the grocery store at all. We'll see. We'll see if that happens. But where was I going with that?
Planning each thing out.
Planning.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that, like right now, I actually kind of feel really overwhelmed with that thought. But I know that if we sit down and plan it, and then we have like, okay, this week we have to get these 4 things done on the garden to make it a successful, whatever, a successful year. So I think if we just have that, and then we have our punch lists, okay, like this week, because Justin ran a CSA way back in 2009, and that's how he did it. He had like this crazy plan.
Yeah, I wrote out the plan in the winter, and then I had I could go look at Sunday, the first day of the week, and say, this is what I need to do this week. It was already written out for me. And if I was to plant pumpkins that week, well, I had already written in the schedule 120 days later, you're going to harvest pumpkins that week. And all I had to do in the heat of the moment is go look at the list. Another thing you could add to that list is you might have 5, 10 things on there. Prioritize them. Then you're hitting those. Then you make sure you're getting those first 2. You might just have to take a deep breath and let go of the other stuff. I mean, if you had it in your heart, buy the meat chickens and order them, and then plant or start working on the greenhouse and buying some seeds. Because you're thinking about meat and garden. But you also had on there, go and shop for a beehive. Okay, because you want to grow honey. Well, maybe you didn't get to the beehive.
We have a beehive and we didn't.
A lot of people get into the romance of the honey. I don't blame them. Honey's amazing, and it's hard to get to it all. And you need to be okay with that. And maybe you killed them. And you're just gonna have to forgive yourself.
Or you reach out to your
It happens in the industry too.
Yeah.
I personally barter with a lady from church. I get a gallon of honey, and I have a freeze dryer, so I freeze dry bananas and strawberries for her grandkids.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And I get $100 in honey.
Have you ever freeze dried honey? Is that possible? It's not.
You don't need to.
It'll explode all the time.
Really? Yeah.
So then,
What's the deal? Is it sugar? But how come it doesn't explode bananas or strawberries? They got sugar in them. I'm just so confused. I want to freeze dry some honey. That'd be so nice if it was like granulated honey. Could you dehydrate it? I guess you can.
I heard that
Let it crystallize.
there's a way with the honey, you can whip the honey.
Uh-huh.
And I've seen it online. They whip it up into like this almost fluffy texture, and then they freeze dry it that way. And there's a recipe for that.
Oh, I'm gonna look that up.
There you go.
I haven't tried it yet because I have a freeze dryer, but I do freeze dry strawberries and bananas, and that's awesome.
one thing Rebecca and I did very early on, not knowing what to grow. You want to grow all of these different things. We looked at our receipts at the grocery store and said, what are we buying? And that will tell you where your heart's at. Where your money is, there your heart is. So see where your money is going. It's like imagine your money, got a string around it, wrapped to your heart. Wherever that money's going, that's where your heart is. So if you look at your receipt, for us, it was in meat. Right, that was the big, they didn't categorize it on these receipts. It'll say dairy, it'll say meat, it'll say fruit or vegetables, it'll say dry goods.
Deli.
And if you're if your Oreos are your biggest bill, forget about it. You might need to throw those out. But mac and cheese and Oreos, a little difficult to grow on the farm. But Whole Foods. So our big bill, and that was the thing too, when you get in a homestead, like off-grid is like this big popular thing. I asked ChatGPT the other day, what's popular in homesteading right now? It was do-it-yourself, gardening or chickens. It was off-grid. I'm like, what's the deal? But when we looked at it, we were spending, what, $150 a month on electricity?
Yeah.
But over $1,000 a month on meat? Yeah. Let's get off the food grid first. So then that will help you and tell you. And honey was very fractional.
Yeah, it was only like, our honey needs have gone up considerably now that my kids are older and they're drinking a lot of tea. Lily will get you the lunch.
And right now.
So we go through like probably $600 or $700 worth of honey now. We used to not go through that much. So maybe we do need to look at these, Justin.
Well, things change. You know, I had duck at a restaurant,
Yeah.
a fancy restaurant. I was like, Rebecca, we gotta grow some duck.
Yeah.
And then just this year, we're like, we grew duck for a couple of years, it was great. And then we're like, hey, Rebecca, do you feel like eating? I'm like, me too, we're not growing duck. You know, I'm trying to, I'm kind of over turkey, but she still wants some turkeys. Yes, dear, let's get some turkey.
Okay, I wanted to do 4 turkeys. Somehow we ended up with 15. I don't know why we have 15 turkeys in our
I
freezer,
think
but
we'll
we
go for
do.
4 then. We just reassess every year. And we came this close to getting bees.
We
This
did.
year, we lined up the coach. She was going to come down and set it up. We're going to create some content around it. It's going to be this great thing. Because she sold us on it because she said, it's not about the honey, it's about
The pasture.
pollinating the pasture to make better pasture for the cows. She sold me. Because our priority is the cows.
Oh, really?
And we were lining up, and they were like, wait a minute. We haven't finished putting in our water line.
Yeah.
We don't want to put the pigs in the greenhouse. We want to put the pigs in the pig port.
We got some other things we
Like,
have.
putting in a water line is not sexy. You know how hard it is to make putting in a water line interesting for a YouTube video again and again and again?
For like weeks on end.
It's not sexy. Getting bees is sexy. It's fun and entertaining.
Romantic,
interesting.
everybody wants to
You've
see
got to have the
it.
discipline. Like say, we're going to wait on the sheep and the llama and
He's gonna do
Sasquatch.
the
And we're going
You want
to
it, but he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
smoothify,
That's how it
make
always
what we have better and more productive.
Yeah.
Question for you, but like you had already said again, start out with just the meat chickens and everything. Again, I think almost like the question I asked out there about doing the barter save, but if you just have the meat chickens, how do you find all your other compadres around you that have that beef to trade or your duck?
Yeah.
Did you ever think about doing that, or do you do that?
Yeah, if you wanted to do that, I imagine you could maybe go to the farmer's market. I've never had to do it because we eat it all.
So in are you wanting to sell it?
No, like
Or
you had
just
said.
find other people who are doing
Right,
it?
that. So if I'm just growing the chickens, I can't do the rest. How do I still
Yeah.
go
I
out
think you could go to the farmer's market and see who's growing the rest and say, hey, would you be up for trading for chickens? I mean, that's not
Or
best
like,
idea.
so I know around here, there's like a real food Western North Carolina Facebook page. So like you can go there and kind of find people that want to trade, or you can purchase it from them, or they might want to purchase
That's
from
if you don't know a market farmer, but I
Yeah.
mean, we know Casey down in South Carolina.
Yeah,
He's focusing on the veggies. He'd probably be more than happy to trade some veggies. We could say, hey, would you grow us 100 onions and figure out what that's worth, and then we figure out what the chickens are worth, and say, let's just trade straight up. He would do that.
So yeah, I would say that like just looking at, I mean, you could even put like make a Facebook page yourself for your area, and then like put it at the library, like put a sign up like, hey, I'm looking for other people who are interested in real food in my area, and here's we're starting a group, or meet once a week or month at the library. There's a lot of ways to. Yeah, I mean that's something that could happen. So
Appreciate it.
yeah, but maybe you be the change.
Have Justin put together another watch party.
Yeah.
I hosted a watch party in California.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And
That was fun.
That's
I had
good.
thought
Thank
that
you
we
for
should
doing
do that.
Do you have people show up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
How many?
I think I had 18 people.
I was going to say
Did anybody
20.
else go to a watch party or host a watch party? Dang, yeah, we need to pull that off.
Especially now after, COVID's out and everything, now would be
Yeah,
a
that's
really
good.
good time
We need
to.
to do that. Yeah, because that was right smack in the middle of COVID. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
The Georgia
Yeah, it was.
I met one of them. I know they've kept in touch with all of them, and they do butchering parties. Like they all still get together for stuff.
I feel like the Boone, North Carolina one
Yeah.
also took off.
I feel like this is just me thinking while I'm brainstorming with you guys, but we did just shoot this show called Elevated, and we went to local homesteaders and we helped them. All we did was come in for a day or two, and we really got a lot of work done in those 2 days. And I was talking to you about how do we make Abundance Plus come alive and stand out from Netflix. It's like, well, you can get on their comment, you can come and volunteer and go to these places, but then what if Elevated was then, eventually what we did with the showing was we had members host, and we had 77 hosts across the country. And I invited the broader YouTube audience, and hundreds, if not thousands of people got together across the country. And so, maybe that's something, because, we've connected people here from, and we're trying, that's our heart, is to try to figure out how to connect people. You came here to meet us, meet Beefcake and Stud Muffin, but now you hopefully come away with friends. You can't take Stud Muffin home. So our heart is that I don't see why we couldn't maybe connect people and they elevate themselves, and so to speak. So I know there's three different sets from Virginia. So wouldn't that be cool if y'all got together?
Okay, so we got done with our Q&A, and then Lily, bless her heart, look at her here, just sitting there, kind of bored. She wanted to take photos. She's such a little entrepreneur. So check out these photos. We had so much fun just laughing, and it just was just an amazing day and a lot of fun, a nice small group, and we thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. Just look at this barn. Isn't it amazing? And I want to say it feels like it's smaller in person than it looks like on the video, but it's so incredibly cool. I hope you enjoyed this. I sure have enjoyed sharing it with you. And remember, we will have our trip from the next day that we're going to share with you.
Roots and Rover. I hope you have the happiest day. Congratulations on winning the book.
Oh my gosh, so we've just finished up an amazing day. I'm here on the Rhodes homestead. Can you see? It's amazing. I'm just gonna do a little pan here so you can see. There's the house. I'm in the barn here. And yeah, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Had a fabulous time. Thanks for playing along with me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.